NCERT.com Science 7. Chapter 9, Life Processes in Animals.
Life processes. Life processes are essential activities that living things perform to stay alive and healthy. Without these coordinated tasks, life could not continue. Movement, changing position to find food or escape danger. Nutrition, taking in food for energy and growth. Respiration, using oxygen to convert nutrients into energy. Transportation, carrying nutrients and waste through the body. Excretion, eliminating metabolic wastes to maintain balance. Control, coordinating responses to environmental changes. Growth, increasing in size and complexity. Reproduction, producing new individuals to ensure species continuation. Nutrition is the process by which organisms consume and utilize food for energy, growth, and repair. This food contains essential nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. There are two primary modes of nutrition. Autotrophic, organisms like plants produce their own food via photosynthesis. Heterotrophic, humans and animals cannot make their own food. They depend on plants or other animals for nourishment. Ultimately, all living beings rely on plants directly or indirectly to sustain life and maintain health. Nutrition in animals. All animals exhibit a heterotrophic mode of nutrition, meaning they rely on plants or other animals for food. Heterotrophs are grouped by their feeding habits into three main categories. A. Herbivores. Animals that eat only plants, for example, cows, goats and deer. B. Carnivores. Animals that eat other animals, for example, lions, tigers and wolves. C. Omnivorous. Animals that eat both plants and animals, for example, humans, crows and dogs. Steps involved in animal nutrition. Animals and humans practice holozoic nutrition, where solid food is ingested and processed internally. This complex biological journey occurs in 5 distinct stages. Ingestion, taking food into the body. Digestion, breaking down large, insoluble food into small, soluble molecules. Absorption, nutrients passing into the bloodstream. Assimilation, cells utilizing absorbed nutrients for energy and repair. Digestion, eliminating undigested waste from the body. 1. Ingestion in humans. Human ingestion begins in the mouth through mastication, chewing, teeth. Humans develop 20 temporary milk teeth, replaced by 32 permanent teeth. These include incisors, cutting, canines, tearing, premolars, and molars, grinding. Enamel, the body's hardest substance, protects them. Saliva, 3 pairs of glands secrete saliva containing salivary amylase, which initiates starch breakdown. Tongue, this muscular organ detects tastes, mixes food with saliva into a bolus, and aids swallowing. Dental care, proper hygiene prevents tooth decay, which occurs when bacteria convert sugary leftovers into acids that damage teeth. 2. Digestion. Digestion transforms complex food into absorbable molecules through several stages. Esophagus transports food from the mouth to the stomach via peristalsis, a wave-like muscular contraction. Stomach, this muscular bag uses hydrochloric acid to kill bacteria and activate enzymes, and mucus for protection. Digestive juices here begin breaking proteins into amino acids. Small intestine, this 7.5-meter tube is where digestion finishes. The liver provides bile for fat breakdown, while the pancreas and intestinal walls secrete juices that finalize the conversion of carbohydrates into glucose, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids. Teen. Absorption. Absorption occurs in the small intestine after digestion is completed. Here, complex nutrients are fully broken down, carbohydrates become glucose, proteins turn into amino acids, and fats convert into fatty acids and glycerol. The inner walls of the small intestine are lined with thousands of finger-like outgrowths called villi. These villi increase the surface area, allowing the digested nutrients to pass efficiently into the blood vessels. This transition of nutrients into the bloodstream is the core of the absorption process. 4. Assimilation. Assimilation is the process where absorbed nutrients are transported via blood to various organs. In the cells, glucose reacts with oxygen to release energy, carbon dioxide, and water. Meanwhile, fatty acids and glycerol are stored under the skin as energy reserves. Undigested food then enters the 1.5-meter large intestine, which absorbs water and salts. The remaining waste is stored in the rectum and eventually removed through the anus as feces, a process called egestion. 5. Egestion. Egestion is the process of removing undigested food from the body. Anything the body cannot break down passes through the large intestine and is eventually expelled through the anus. The anus is the opening at the end of the digestive tract. Feces pass through it to leave the body, completing the egestion process. Nutrition in animals and birds. Ruminants like cows have a unique 4-chambered stomach. They quickly swallow grass into the rumen, where it becomes partially digested cud. This cud is later chewed again in the mouth, a process called rumination. A structure called the cecum contains bacteria to digest cellulose. Birds, lacking teeth, use a muscular gizzard to grind food. They swallow small stones or grit to help crush food mechanically before further digestion. Respiration in animals. Respiration releases energy by combining oxygen with nutrients in cells, producing carbon dioxide and water as waste. Breathing involves the ribs and diaphragm. Inhalation, ribs move up, out and the diaphragm moves down. This increases chest volume, lowering pressure so fresh air rushes into the lungs. Exhalation, ribs move down, in and the diaphragm moves up. This decreases volume, increasing pressure to push air out. The lungs contain 300 million alveoli for efficient gas exchange. Respiratory system in humans. The human respiratory system follows a path called the respiratory tract. Nose or nasal cavity. Air enters via nostrils where hair and mucus trap dust. The cavity warms and moistens the air. Larynx or trachea. The larynx, voice box, contains vocal cords and the epiglottis, which prevents food from entering the airway. The trachea, windpipe, uses cilia to filter particles before splitting into 2 bronchi. Lungs. These spongy organs are protected by the rib cage and a double-layered pleura. The right lung has 3 lobes, while the left has 2 alveoli. Inside the lungs, bronchioles end in millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli. Surrounded by blood vessels, this is where oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide is removed. Exchange of gases. Gas exchange occurs in the alveoli, where oxygen moves into the blood and carbon dioxide is released as waste. This oxygen is vital for respiration, a chemical process where glucose is broken down to release energy. Glucose plus oxygen yields carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. The breathing rate, the number of breaths, varies based on activity. At rest, an adult breathes 15 to 18 times. During exercise, this rate increases to supply more oxygen for faster energy production, which also leads to feeling hungry. Conversely, breathing slows down during sleep. Breathing in other animals. Different animals have evolved unique respiratory systems to suit their environments. Cockroach, they use a network of air tubes called trachea. Air enters and leaves through small openings on the body surface known as spiracles. Earthworm, they breathe through their moist skin, which contains many blood capillaries to absorb oxygen directly from the air. Frog, these amphibians show great adaptation. Tadpoles use gills, while adult frogs use lungs on land and their skin for gas exchange when in water. Breathing underwater. Aquatic animals like fish have special respiratory organs called gills. Gills are abundantly supplied with blood vessels. These blood vessels absorb dissolved oxygen present in water and carry it to different body parts. Gills also carry carbon dioxide from the cells to the surrounding water. The circulatory system. The circulatory system acts as the body's delivery network, consisting of the heart, blood vessels, and blood. Heart, a four-chambered pump. The auricles, upper, receive blood, while the ventricles, lower, pump it out. The left side handles oxygenated blood, the right side handles deoxygenated blood. Blood vessels, arteries, thick-walled, carry oxygen-rich blood away from the heart. Veins, thin-walled, return carbon dioxide-rich blood. Capillaries are tiny tubes connecting them to reach every cell. Blood is a liquid connective tissue that transports oxygen, nutrients, and waste throughout the body. It consists of plasma, a yellowish fluid, 90% water, that dissolves and carries nutrients and waste. Red blood cells, RBCs, contain hemoglobin, which binds to oxygen for transport. Hemoglobin plus oxygen yields oxyhemoglobin. Red blood cells, WBCs, larger cells that protect the body by fighting germs and infections. Platelets, the smallest cells, essential for clotting blood to heal wounds. Coordination between different organ systems. Our body's organ systems, including the digestive, respiratory, circulatory, nervous, muscular, and excretory systems, work together as a coordinated team. The respiratory system collects oxygen, the digestive system provides nutrients, and the circulatory system delivers these essentials to every cell. This constant sharing of information and resources ensures we can move, think, and grow. This complex internal teamwork is vital for maintaining overall health and keeping the body functioning as a single, healthy unit.